Today, we're diving into a massive shift in how we handle data. Seriously, it's a huge deal. We're talking about the move away from all that manual, high-stress database management to something called the autonomous database.
You know, if you've ever worked with a database, this quote probably gives you cold sweats. It's not just a command, is it? It's the big red button. One tiny typo, a moment of distraction, and poof, years of work gone. That feeling, right there, is the heart of our story today.
And that feeling has a name: the developer's worst nightmare. For decades, this has just been the reality of managing a database. Every single migration, every little update feels like you're walking a tightrope over a canyon of complete and utter failure.
This really nails the emotional side of it, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the old way, just constant stress, super high risk, and that nagging fear in the back of your mind. But then, look at the other side. This is the promise of the new way, an AI-driven system that brings calm, that has safety built right in, and, this is the crazy part, actually gives you more control by taking the most dangerous stuff off your hands.
So what we're talking about is a fundamental change in our jobs. We're going from being these terrified database babysitters to a future where the system just takes care of itself, a real set and forget world. And that gets us to this central idea. It's about handing over the keys. Now, this isn't about replacing developers, not at all. It's about giving them an AI co-pilot, an expert assistant that's ready to take over all the most dangerous, boring, and stressful parts of the job. So, what exactly is an autonomous database? Well, put simply, it's a database that uses AI to do all the heavy lifting for you. We're talking automatically tuning for performance, patching its own security holes, and handling those absolutely terrifying schema migrations, all without a human having to manually click a single button.
Think about it like this. What if you could hire the world's best database administrator? This person works 24/7, they never panic under pressure, they never get tired, and they have the data to always make the most logical, perfect decision in microseconds. That's the kind of assistant we're talking about here.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? But it's not just a concept. Let's dig into how this AI safety net actually works in the real world to stop disasters before they happen and crank up performance. And to do that, we're going to look at two tools that are really pioneering this stuff: Superbase AI, which is tackling performance, and Prisma, which is completely reinventing database migrations. Let's kick things off with Superbase AI. Their whole approach is called just-in-time optimization. And the idea behind it is so smart and so simple. Don't just fix problems, fix them automatically, the very instant they pop up. All right, so picture this. This is your application's health monitor. All of a sudden, one bad query starts to slow everything down. Latency goes through the roof, your users are getting annoyed, and your whole system is just grinding to a crawl. But here's the magic. Before a human engineer even gets the alert on their phone, the AI agent sees that spike. It analyzes the bad query, it figures out exactly what the bottleneck is, and in a fraction of a second, it designs and applies the perfect index to fix it. And the result is, bam, just like that. Latency plummets back to normal. The problem is solved before it ever really became a problem. No 3 a.m. pager alerts, no frantic debugging sessions, just smooth, automatic, seamless optimization. So that takes care of performance. Pretty cool, right? But what about that ultimate nightmare? Changing the very structure of your live database. Well, for that, we turn to Prisma and their approach: zero downtime migrations. Honestly, the best way to think about this is like rebuilding a bridge while cars are still driving over it. First, the AI just watches the traffic. That's the data flowing into your old database schema. Then, right next to it, in parallel, it builds the new, better version. Once that new structure is perfect and ready to go, it seamlessly, instantly switches the flow of traffic over to the new bridge. And finally, once everyone is safely across, it just decommissions the old one. No downtime, no lost data. It's incredible. So, when you put these two huge pieces together, this idea of self-optimization and self-migration, you start to realize that this changes everything about how we should even think about what a database is. And this right here is the most important mental shift you have to make. For decades, we've treated our databases like these fragile, static file cabinets, right? You set them up once and you just pray you never have to move anything. Well, that model is dead. The new model is a living, breathing organism. It's a system that can feel when it's getting slow and then heal itself. A system that can adapt to new challenges and literally evolve its own structure to be more efficient. It manages its own life, which frees us, the humans, up for the more important, more creative problems.
And really, that leaves us with one final and, I think, very exciting question. When the fear is gone, when all that manual work is automated, and when your most critical piece of infrastructure can just take care of itself, what amazing things will you finally have the time and the freedom to go and build next?